Andrew Tucker, and welcome to Andrew Tucker World. What's going on, all my great people? What's going on, my boxing fans? Andrew Tucker World, worldwide boxing. I'm gonna get straight to the point. I already knew going into this fight that Vergil Ortiz Jr. was going to win this fight. I think that at this point in their both at this point in his career, and when it comes to Erickson Lubin, at this stage in their careers, Erickson Lubin, I take nothing away from him. Been in there with the best. Great young veteran fighter, very dangerous boxer puncher, technically sound fighter, skill fighter. But I knew at this point he was going up in there against not just a strong fighter, but a fast boxer puncher, a fast, dangerous, technically sound boxer puncher. And knowing that, I think based on styles, it was going to be a good fight. But I did film study. I didn't get a chance to make a video about it after doing film study and looking into this fight greatly and evaluating, analyzing both fighters. I was saying that Vergil was going to probably stop him. I was thinking when I was going to make the part 2 to the video, that's probably within the 5th or 6th round. Honestly, when it comes to these two fighters, based on where they're at in this stage in their careers, and Vergil was just slightly faster, thinking slightly smarter thinking man fighter. So he's also cannot just be no deadly technically sound slugger or brawler or dangerous inside fighter or close range fighter to mid range fighter, but he can also most definitely be a dangerous outside fighter. I think he's a complete fighter that people sleeping on his spots and skills and what he possesses as a fighter and what he really truly can do. And I think that's going to be a mistake when it comes to Jaron, Ennis, and them if they don't fully evaluate the situation and understand that this is a fighter that you might want to, not sleep on his boxing skills and when it comes to sticking and moving and when it comes to beautiful punch placement and setting traps from mid-range and from the outside. I think he's very fast and explosive. Both of these guys are throwback fighters, but I can say that much more of Vergil Ortiz is more of a throwback skill fighter, if that makes sense. And so my thing is this. I feel that Erickson Lubin, and like I said, I take nothing away from Vergil Ortiz. I take nothing away from Erickson Lubin as far as not coming in to fight. I think that he most definitely had to come in to fight and to do what he can do. But I don't think it's much that he could have done against this monster and this young animal. So with that being said, I'll take nothing against Vergil Ortiz, but I honestly feel that Erickson Lubin was a sacrificial lamb. I think he had to come in and they had to take a dive for this fight. I think he had to go down. It's a money season, right? It's money season where now it's time for the big investors to get into with the biggest fights. So now we have a trend going on, guys. So if you guys want to come at me and say I'm hating on Vergil Ortiz, you're looking to create a war with me, I honestly want to respectfully and humbly and honestly say I'm not looking for a war. I'm just going to give you the big honest picture in today's world, in today's society, and the big picture of really what's going on. Not saying that Erickson Lubin, not saying that he's not, because Erickson Lubin fighting the best. He's always going to be a good skill fighter to me. It's just that excellent, of a dangerous, technically sound elite level fighter in Vergil Ortiz, different caliber from old school to new school. And I think that going forward he's a threat. And no, I'm not saying all fights are rigged. All fights, are just fights to catapult or take another fighter up to a whole other level and get the big fights that we want to see. So one fighter takes a dive or have to stay within regularly scheduled programming and not do as much and take his behind whipping and get destroyed because he's going to get they're going to secure the bag, but the bigger bag is going to be in the bigger investment for bigger fights. So the bigger investment is Vergil Ortiz, and the bigger investment is why Jaron Ennis had to come up and show up tonight, while him and his team had to come and show up tonight because it was all scheduled, it was all arranged that way. It was all where this is the plan. You show up, you get in the ring, and this is what's going to happen. Like you got to get in the ring. Get in the ring. You got guys do the face off. You know what I'm saying? Boom. That starts the process. That starts the building up the fight. That starts the big massive scene of Vergil Ortiz versus Jaron Ennis, and that's a fight we've been waiting for a little time now. But it was I think they was marinating it. I think everybody and all parties was involved to say that they're not. I can disagree. They're gonna give you the the illusion, or what's the word I'm looking? Delusion, to think that it wasn't in talks, and it was building up for a long time. We already, as boxing fans, we already know this. But I think that's what it is. I think honestly, to see Lubin most definitely go out like that, it was a sad situation. It was a sad case. I'm not saying that he would retire because he's a dog, he's an animal. He'll bounce back, he'll recover, and maybe go back and want to really just get certain fights that they'll allow him to win, because this one he could not win this one. I would have loved to see Lubin versus Jaron Ennis. because Ennis, I think, was in position. Excuse me, guys. Got some food in my teeth from eating dinner. He's in position to fight Jaron Booth and fight the winner. But it was the bigger investment and the bigger money was into Vergil Ortiz. He's on the Oscar De La Hoya's Young Stars. Of course, you can't fumble the bag like they couldn't fumble the bag on Canelo Alvarez and certain other fighters, right? So, and then excuse me, guys. Well, there was fights that we know the great legendary Canelo lost, like the Arizona Laura could be close, controversial. I don't know. I can see it both ways, but certain fights, basically secretly trying to rob certain fighters, but it has a history of repeating itself as far as in the sport of boxing. But the honest truth is, I want to see Vergil Ortiz versus Jaron Booth. I think is a great fight stylistically. Honestly, that's a 50-50 until I get to deep analyzing and doing film study and evaluate the situation. But that's a good 50-50 for me. And then as far as congratulations tonight, even though, like I say, Erickson Lubin was the sacrificial lamb. He was not going to win this fight by all means. And the part two, you come in, you want to create war, my Mexican fans, then part two will come. Love you guys.